all criticism and condemnations on jail and fine reduction must stop. Short-term solution to talent shortage in critical sectors. Good evening, Salam Malaysia Madani. You're watching Malaysia Tonight. I'm Shuhaida Arifin. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim wants all criticism and condemnations regarding the reduction in jail sentence and fine meted out to former Prime Minister Datuk Seri Najib Tun Razak to be stopped and for all quarters to respect the decision of the Pardons Board. Speaking at the monthly assembly with the staff of the Prime Minister's Department in Putrajaya today, he said the main consideration was not legal matters but the compassion of the former Yang di-Pertuan Agong.
Yang di-Pertuan Agong itu sebagai mercu keihsanan atau fountain of mercy. Ya. Sama ada tuanku Yang di-Pertuan Agong memilih untuk memberikan penjelasan atau tidak, itu wewenang tuanku. Saya nak jelaskan ini. Ya. Baik. Lembaga harus beri pandangan. Jadi, dan apa hak mana-mana tahanan atau banduan mengemukakan pandangan. Itu perkara 113 dalam peraturan. Itu jelas. Tanpa kecuali. Sesiapa pun. Sebaik saja ada yang mengatakan mesti minima 3 tahun. Tak betul. Siapa saja kali pertama ikut prosesnya boleh mengemukakan rayuan.
The Prime Minister added that the public should not dwell solely on the Pardons Board's decision, as numerous national issues deserve the attention of all parties. Meanwhile, Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim said the government's determination in the fight against corruption and misappropriation can be seen through the decisive actions taken by enforcement agencies, including the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission (MACC) and the Inland Revenue Board (LHDN).
Kalau diambil tindakan terhadap perempuan kecil itu, bagaimana kita boleh biarkan rasuah skala besar itu berlalu tanpa apa-apa tindakan? Bentuk tindakan jangan tanya saya. Saya beri arahan umum kepada semua jabatan, semua badan penguasaan, tegas. Sementara kita ada tekad politik dan konsensus dalam Jemaah Menteri.
Referring to the scandal surrounding the tender for the government vehicle supply, repair and maintenance project, Fleet Project, awarded to Spanco, the Prime Minister revealed that he had been vigilant about this issue during his tenure as the Finance Minister under Tun Dr. Mahathir's administration. He also criticised the previous administration for needing more political will to address corruption, paying no heed to the matter rather than taking substantial actions. Human Resources Minister Stephen Sim Chee Kiong will meet Fahmi Fadil, the Communications Minister, soon to discuss ways to protect freelance workers and stringers, part-timers in the media and creative industry. Commenting further on the matter, Stephen said there are approximately 30,000 freelance workers in the sector and he now wants to expand Social Security Organisation Perkeso coverage, including through the Self-Employed Social Security Scheme SKSPS, which protects self-employed individuals.
Sebab kita tahu, terutamanya untuk pekerja industri media dan kreatif ini, mereka waktu kerja tidak tentu, tidak menentu, dan kemudian dia pula terpaksa bekerja mungkin di dalam keadaan yang kadang-kadang agak berbahaya kalau ada kemalangan, kebakaran ataupun insiden-insiden yang mungkin mendedahkan para pekerja ini kepada bahaya di tempat pekerjaan. Jadi kita faham bahawa ada keperluan mendesak untuk memberikan perlindungan kepada kumpulan ini.
The minister further noted that he has contacted Communications Minister Fahmi Fadil and he shares the same stance. He said this after presenting corporate social responsibility (CSR) contribution from his ministry, along with Perkeso, to Radio Television Malaysia RTM newsroom staff Malia Muhammad, 43 today. Employees Provident Fund (EPF) has upgraded and improved the initiative that allows its members to use funds in their account to buy life and critical illness insurance and takaful products under iLindung Phase 2. Its members that wish to purchase insurance and participate in takaful products offered by EPF-approved insurance companies and takaful operators for themselves or their immediate family members can do so through the iLindung platform within the EPFI account member mobile application. Since its launch in July 2022 until December last year, more than 102,301 members have purchased a total of 118,166 policies and takaful products through iLindung platform, covering life and critical illness insurance protection at affordable premiums. Capitalizing on this encouraging response, the EPF has introduced key upgrades focusing on policy and certificate management geared for extended coverage exceeding 1 year. The upgraded platform offers features such as streamlined policy management and convenient recurring payments for long-term protection. Coming up, Malaysia is set to benefit from US-China competition. "23 insolvent subsidiaries of agencies under the Rural and Regional Development Ministry are being closed down as there's no justification to keep them going," Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi said. This is necessary even though the ministry's subsidiary companies recorded an overall total profit after tax of about 100 million ringgit. In a special address to subsidiary heads and management boards in Kuala Lumpur today, Datuk Seri Dr. Ahmad Zahid also urged them to strengthen their respective companies and lower their dependence on the government.
Maka yang 100 bakinya itu saya pantau melalui pendekatan yang saya nyatakan tadi. Dan saya harap di dalam bulan Julai nanti apabila kita mengadakan pemukiman semula, ketika itu saya akan menilai prestasi setiap syarikat itu.
He also urged the top management and board of directors to improve communication to keep their respective companies moving forward. The Malaysian Employers Federation (MEF) has suggested that the government allow international graduates to work in the country to ease the chronic talent crunch within the industry, especially in the engineering and technical fields. MEF Executive Director Datuk Syamsuddin Bardan said post-graduation employment visas are typically short-term, non-renewable and are specific to identify industries and jobs, so the fear that allowing foreign graduates to work in the country will displace local talent is unfounded.
This is not the issue of the foreign student going to take away the jobs of the local employees, but this is where we have shortage of talents, and of course to develop that kind of talent we require at least 4 or 5 years before the student is ready for employment. So in the meantime, while we are waiting for the 4 and 5 years kind of thing, at the same time, employers cannot wait. So why not we allow them to be employed for the time being?
Datuk Syamsuddin said allowing international graduates to work in Malaysia could also create a ripple effect in the economy, as it would make local tertiary education institutions more appealing to foreign students due to potential career opportunities after graduation. The government has decided to establish the Permanent Secretariat of the National Entrepreneur Development and Micro, Small, Medium Enterprises Council, MPUPK. Entrepreneur Development and Cooperatives Minister Datuk Iwan Benedict said the Secretariat will be led by SME Corporation Malaysia and will have a monthly meeting which will be chaired by Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi.
Mesyuarat telah membentangkan ataupun membincangkan 5 kertas yang dibentangkan, dan antara keputusan yang telah dipersetujui adalah supaya satu sekretariat penyelarasan dan pelaporan, dan tujuannya adalah untuk memastikan supaya semua dana ataupun belanjawan yang disalurkan kepada setiap agensi itu memberi kesan dan implikasi besar kepada pembangunan keusahawanan negara.
Dato' Iwan further revealed that the meeting also agreed to approve the Environmental, Social and Governance Quick Guide for Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises (MSMEs) and the Strategic Plan for MSMEs 2030. He expressed hope that with these decisions, the ministry will be able to drive further coordination between ministries and the federal as well as state governments so that it will benefit MSMEs nationwide. The Securities Commission Malaysia SC has widened sophisticated investor categories in a move to increase capital market accessibility. The new guidelines on categories of sophisticated investors, which takes effect today, reinforces the SC's commitment to maintain capital market competitiveness and vibrancy while promoting greater investor participation. SC Chairman Datuk Seri Dr. Awang Adik Hussein said the growing sophistication of the Malaysian capital market has resulted in varied financing needs and investments risk appetites. He said the criteria for sophisticated investors have been broadened to include a wider range of individuals who can contribute to the market's growth and stability. According to SC, key features of the expansion include a new category that takes into account the knowledge and experience of sophisticated investors. In addition, enhancements to current categories are made, allowing flexibilities of existing financial thresholds for high net worth individuals. The Commission highlighted that another key change is the inclusion of an investor's primary residence value up to a cap of 1 million ringgit in assessing their qualification as a sophisticated investor. It added that the definition of a joint account is also expanded to incorporate accounts with a spouse or child, including total net joint annual income and investments portfolios. These expansions will better depict a family's collective financial status and investment potential. Foreign investors remain as net buyers on Bursa Malaysia for the second consecutive week, contributing to a net foreign inflow of 131.8 million ringgit. MIDF Research in its fund flow report for the week ended 2nd February 2024 said foreign investors were net buyers on Wednesday and Friday, amounting to 166 million ringgit to 86.9 million ringgit respectively, while they net sold on Monday and Tuesday, posting 96.2 million ringgit and 24.6 million ringgit respectively. The research house said it was a shortened trading week in conjunction with the Federal Territory Day on Thursday. MIDF said local institutions maintain their stance as net sellers for the second straight week at 141.3 million ringgit, with the bulk of the net selling occurring on Wednesday and Friday at 175.1 million ringgit and 116.8 million ringgit respectively. Meanwhile, local retailers recorded their first weekly net buy this year at 9.5 million ringgit after net selling for 4 consecutive weeks. They net bought 9.1 million ringgit on Wednesday and 30.2 million ringgit on Friday, after net selling 1.1 million ringgit on Monday and 28.8 million ringgit on Tuesday. In terms of participation, there was an increase in average daily trading volume among foreign investors by 4.5%, while local retailers and local institutions saw a decline of 17.5% and 15.5% respectively. Non-bank financial institution or NBFI sector earnings growth is expected to hold up in 2024, supported by a decent macroeconomic backdrop. RHB Investment Bank Berhad, RHBIB, said it remains bullish on the insurers but is more selective towards the non-bank lenders given the subsector's mixed risk-reward offerings. The investment bank, in a research note today, said they are expecting a moderate year for insurers under their coverage for the two key reasons, namely an expected slowdown in car sales coming off a record high year in the financial year 2023 and moderation in total investment returns, largely due to an absence of the low base effect. Nevertheless, stabilizing claims and reinsurance costs, as well as a pickup in life insurance or family takaful contributions, should enable mid-single-digit bottom-line growth at the least. As such, RHBIB has downgraded the sector to a neutral, with Eon Credit Service Malaysia Berhad and Syarikat Takaful Malaysia Keluarga Berhad selected as its top picks. The investment bank noted that both companies are demonstrating healthy fundamentals and possess bright growth prospects, but respectively trading at significant discounts to historical mean valuations. On the flip side, stretched valuations for certain counters present a profit-taking opportunity.
Proton Holdings Berhad sold 12,882 units in January 2024, marking its best start to a year since 2013. Proton EDA Chief Executive Officer Roslan Abdullah said the company is thrilled to begin 2024 strongly, as evidenced by the robust delivery numbers of its latest edition, the Proton S70.
He said the enthusiastic response to Proton's lineup confirms how their models resonate with buyers searching for innovative vehicles. The national car maker's market share is estimated at 19.5% for the month, representing a 3.3% increase compared to the previous month. Meanwhile, it said that the Proton X50 continued its reign as the top B-segment sports utility vehicle SUV for the new year, with 2,002 units sold in January. Similarly, the Proton Persona began the year strongly by leading sales for B-segment cars with 1,846 units sold. The Proton X90 also retained its leadership in the D-segment SUV market with 365 units sold in January, while Proton Izora remained relevant in the C-segment multi-purpose vehicle with 203 units, although their production has ended. The Proton Saga also started 2024 strong with 6,129 units sold, affirming its enduring popularity and significance within the Proton portfolio. As for the other Proton model, sales for Proton Iris jumped by 7% compared to December, with 523 units sold.
The Malaysian rubber market ended higher today, supported by steady crude oil prices coupled with a weaker ringgit against the US dollar.
A dealer said promises of more stimulus measures from the Chinese government, along with a stronger US manufacturing activity, were also seen to lift market sentiment. Elaborating further, she said, nonetheless, further gains were capped by mixed performance in the regional rubber futures markets as expectations for aggressive rate cuts by the United States-US Federal Reserve this year eased. She said Japanese rubber futures rose on Monday amid strong US labor data and Chinese stimulus, while a weaker yen also lent support. Additionally, she said oil prices stabilized on Monday after sharp falls last week amid continued attempts to reach a ceasefire in the Israel-Palestinian conflict, even as the US planned new strikes on Iran-backed groups. The Malaysian rubber bonds MRB price for standard Malaysian rubber 20 SMR20 surged by 12.5 cent to 721 cent per kilogram, while latex in bulk increased by 5 cent to 659 cent per kilogram. At 5 p.m., the MRB reference price for physical rubber SMR stood at 721.5 cent per kilogram, while latex in bulk was at 663 cent per kilogram.
Malaysia is among Asia-Pacific countries that may benefit from the competition over trade and technology between China and the United States-US, which continues to disrupt supply chains, according to Moody's Investor Service.
The credit rating agency said the ongoing US-China competition present opportunities for economies with strong manufacturing bases and good infrastructure, such as Malaysia A3 stable, Vietnam BA2 stable, and Thailand BAA1 stable. The agency, through a research note, also said that an escalation of military conflicts in West Asia also poses supply chain risks. Moody's has said a downshift in China's A1 negative economic growth rate and cyclical slowdown in the US AAA negative will weigh on Asia-Pacific's credit conditions in 2024. It added that peaking inflation globally will provide space for monetary tightening cycles to slow, but financial conditions will remain difficult for the weakest rated issuers. Meanwhile, geopolitical risk will continue to shape business decisions. Moody's also forecast a structural shift in Asia-Pacific's growth trajectory. They projected that the weighted average of real gross domestic product growth for the 25 sovereigns in Asia-Pacific to decelerate to 3.6% in 2024 from 4.4% in 2023, reflecting the slowdown in China and broadly lackluster global economic conditions, including the cyclical slowdown in the US.
Indonesia's economic growth slowed last year owing to a weak exports driven by lower commodity prices. Statistics Indonesia said Southeast Asia's largest economy expanded 5.05%, slightly above government projections, but down from 5.3% in 2022.
Fourth quarter growth came in at 5.04%, marginally better than the same period in 2022. Statistics Indonesia also noted that domestic consumption was the key driver for the economy, offsetting lagging exports. It said the main contributor to the gross domestic product growth included household consumption, which grew 4.82%, adding that investment also grew. Exports were up just 1.32% year-on-year, while imports contracted 1.65%. Economists warn of a further slowdown in growth in the coming months as Indonesia tightens monetary policy and commodity demand continues to weaken. Their forecast that growth in advanced economies will struggle and that commodity prices will remain subdued suggests that exports will remain weak. They believe that the economy is set to struggle over the coming quarters.
China's e-commerce logistic index, an indicator of logistics operations in the e-commerce sector, stood at 125.3 points in January, hitting a record high over the past 2 years. This is according to the data released by the China Federation of Logistics and Purchasing today.
Elaborating further on the matter, the Federation said the e-commerce logistics index showed a steady rebound in January with good performance on both the supply and demand sides. According to the Federation, local specialty foods become mainstream consumer goods for the upcoming Spring Festival, also known as the Chinese New Year, and buying fresh goods via e-commerce platforms has also become one of the main channels for Spring Festival shopping thanks to the rapid development of instant retail services. The e-commerce logistic index is compiled based on data from JD.com, a major online retailer in China. The baseline index was set up at 100 points.
Meanwhile, China's service outsourcing industry posted a steady expansion last year, with firms in the country signing service outsourcing contracts worth close to about $400 billion, up 17.6% year-on-year.
Outsourcing is a cost-cutting measure in which businesses hire an outside party to perform services and create goods previously performed in-house by the company's own employees and staff. Service outsourcing in China is typically divided into 3 subsectors, namely information technology outsourcing, business process outsourcing, and knowledge process outsourcing. Each of these categories saw substantial growth in 2023. Offshore knowledge process outsourcing saw the value of contracts for offshore soaring 18.4%, reaching $62.8 billion. Business process outsourcing growth was not far behind at 17.8%, hitting $23.9 billion. Even the already substantial information technology outsourcing sector saw a significant 13.1% growth to hit $57.7 billion. In addition, the value of offshore service outsourcing contracts and those fulfilled undertaken by the 37 service outsourcing demonstration cities nationwide accounted for 88.5% and 87.4% of the national total respectively.
Samsung Electronics Chairman Lee Jae-yong was found not guilty of accounting fraud and stock manipulation by a Seoul court today in a case about 2015 merger of Samsung affiliates that prosecutors said was designed to cement its control of the tech group.
In the merger case, prosecutors accused Lee and other former executives of violating the Capital Markets Act to engineer a merger between Samsung's CNT and Shale Industries that rode roughshod over the interest of minority shareholders. Prosecutors had asked for a 5-year jail term last November. Lee denied wrongdoing, arguing that he and other executives acted on the belief the merger would benefit shareholders. The surprise ruling could still be appealed by prosecutors. The sentence prevents a return to jail for Lee, who was convicted in 2017 of bribing a friend of former President Park Geun-hye. He served 18 months of a 30-month sentence and was pardoned in 2022 by current President Yoon Suk-yeol, with the government saying he was needed to help overcome a national economic crisis.
US intends further strikes on Iran-backed group. There are more coming up in our foreign segment. The United States intends to launch further strikes at Iran-backed groups in the West Asia after hitting Tehran-aligned factions in Iraq, Syria and Yemen over the last 2 days.
The United States and Britain unleashed attacks against 36 Houthi targets in Yemen a day after the US military hit Tehran-backed groups in Iraq and Syria. The strikes are the latest blows in a conflict that has spread into the West Asia since 7th October, when the Iran-backed Hamas group stormed Israel from the Gaza Strip. White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said the U.S. intends to take additional strikes but declined to be drawn on whether the country might attack sites inside Iran, something the U.S. military has been very careful to avoid. A Houthi military spokesperson meanwhile said the strikes will not pass without a response and consequences, while another Houthi spokesperson indicated the group will not be deterred, noting that Yemen's decision to support Gaza will not be affected by any attack.
And that concludes this edition of Malaysia Tonight. In our top story, all criticism and condemnations on jail and fine reduction must stop. Till then, I'm Shuhaida Arifin from River to the Sea. Palestine will be free. Thank you for watching.